excuse my tardiness in posting today. We had back-to-back meetings in IDT, and it was an exciting day. Dr. Mims was back with us today, so that was really nice. And then also Tracy McAllister, one of our doctoral students, successfully defended her dissertation. So it's been a busy and exciting day for us in IDT. So let's get started by looking at the schedule. And so this week, the lead e-learning developer will be presenting the second part of the treatment report. So actually looking at what your unit is going to look like. So the flow charts, the thumbnails and storyboards and all the fun stuff where we get to see the graphic design. Talking a little bit about the formative evaluation as well. And I will also be posting links because it's time again to do a team member review and the learning team survey. So it's the same links that we've used before. They're time-stamped, so even though the links are the same, I can see which iteration of those surveys that you're working on, but I will post them again in the community this week. And so again, what's happening this week is the lead e-learning developer is presenting that treatment design and template, which is due this weekend, and then also you'll be starting your formative evaluations, and then there's the team member and learning team survey. And so then the next week, the formative evaluation plan is due. So remember that the plan is what you're going to do for formative evaluation. Then you're actually going to do those things and report what you learned. So that's the kind of the difference between the plan and then the report, which is actually not due until after showcase, because sometimes those things take a little bit longer. So anyway, and what I'll spend next week talking about is showcase, and so we'll start planning for showcase next week. So right now, let's take a look at the formative evaluation. So under course requirements for this course, if you'll scroll down to the bottom of that page, because all the documentation is described here. And so the design documentation, and these are all the things that you've done so far. So this next thing, and it's this kind of last piece of the design documentation, is your formative evaluation. And so what you're going to do, this is include your plan for doing these things. So an overview of what the formative evaluation process is. You're going to do a subject matter expert review with your SME. So your SME will go through it first, and then this is important. Before you can move on to the next round, you have to make the edits and corrections. So anything that the SME points out wasn't working, a link was broken, something doesn't make sense, you have to fix those things. So allow enough time for that to happen before you go into your one-to-one. And so you want 3 people in one-to-one. Now, one thing is your book may recommend more people, but due to time constraints and the limitations of this course, these are the numbers that I want you to go by. So in the one-to-one evaluations, you'll need 3 people to do that, and somebody on your team will sit with them one-to-one, one-on-one, and sit with them as they go through it, so that immediately you can watch them and see, is there a screen where they get confused? Do they have questions? And you can, write down all your observations of them. And then after that, you'll have your small group evaluations. And in the small group, 5 to 8 participants. Now, one thing with the small group evaluations is the question is, do all 5 to 8 people have to be in the room at the same time? And no, they don't have to be. You can, you do 2 here or 3 there. You don't have to have all 5 to 8 people in the room at the same time. Can you? Yes. If you can accommodate that many people at once, yes, you could certainly do that. And then, so you'll have data collection instruments, your pre and post test, and then after evaluations, your unit may or may not keep a test, and then the attitude survey. So those are the things that you'll do there. And then when you write it up, you'll write the results, the changes at each step, what changes had to be made, and any recommendations or conclusions. But right now we're just looking at the plan. So this is the formative evaluation, and this is what you're going to do. Now, field trials, you don't have to do field trials. You can stop at the small group evaluation. So we're trying to work in time constraints, and then you can allow the client, if they want to do further, beta testing as a field trial, they can certainly do that. But you have to have the subject matter expert review, one-on-ones, and small group. If you choose to go ahead and do a field test, great, but as long as you have these things, you'll be fine. Then let's go back to the top and go to the tasks. Formative evaluation of interactive learning. And so this is just some more readings and things to get you ready. So the main reading is in the multimedia for learning text with the levels of education, and then here's some more things to help you to prepare for formative evaluation. Also under tasks, there is a short little, for your formative evaluation report, there's a short little slideshow for you to be able to click through there to get a little bit more information. But formative evaluation is described in great detail in your handbook, Dick and Carey, and so that's what you'll be mostly relying on as you go through the formative evaluation process. Okay, so that's kind of the big time-consuming thing that's coming up this week, and let's go back and look at the schedule one more time. So those are the big things that are happening. And then we are really coming up fast on flowcharts. So this week we'll be hearing from your e-learning developer. You'll be doing some team member and learning team surveys, kind of checking in, telling me how things are going with your team. And then the formative evaluation plan is due. Then the lead evaluator is going to present that formative evaluation plan. And then we'll talk about the project evaluation report that you guys will be writing and preparing for your showcase. And we'll, you know, any questions you have about that, we'll make sure that that's well planned. So really, it's starting to kind of wrap up. The bulk of the work is happening right now, and then you'll start your evaluation. So it should be a really exciting time for you guys, and I'm really looking forward to this week and starting to see the actual units. I've had some sneak peeks of some of them, and it's really exciting. So you guys are doing good work. Okay, I hope you have a great day.